All right, people, what's going on? Real Tough Talk. Stephen J, my partner goes. We're gonna go over the last game of the day, the UFL Championship. First of all, shout out to everybody to watch the All-Star game. It was a little long, but we had to show you, give the guys the props for winning the awards. Definitely wanted to show them the love for that. Now we get into the UFL Championship. Number one seed of the Eastern Conference, UTF. Number four seed of the Western Conference, them getters. Listen, these teams met in the regular season. UTF was able to win that game 26-13. Jeremy threw a touchdown pass, one interception. Dev had a big return for a touchdown. And on the other side, Chuck threw two touchdown passes, but also threw two interceptions. And UTF will come away with the win. Listen, for these two teams, this is a stamp of your history in UFL. You know, UFL only does one season. So when you win a chip, you really win a championship. So both these teams are definitely prepared. Both of these teams are focused. And this is the biggest game, you know, as far as the UFL. Listen, the last year in the UFL to try to come out and win a championship, you putting all your chips on the table. DG did that by drafting Chuck second. UTF did that by moving, shutting down Corey, making Jeremy the A. So both of these teams got something on the line.
Um, when I say that there's so many things to say. The fact that Jeremy starting the season filling in for a quarterback, and now he is in the championship as the quarterback.
Right.
That's something that that's like a script you cannot picture to write. That's not something you would figure that's going to happen at the end of the season. And then the way Chuck comes in on the other side to play for DG, being their main A player. He didn't have a perfect season because they kind of started slow in the middle. They kind of had some hiccups here and there. But then as the games went along, they started to acclimate. He started to fit in on the team, and he started to get them where they needed to go. And now they're ultimately into the championship. So these things, you didn't really picture this exact way it was going to happen, that these two teams would be facing each other. It was a close game in the regular season, and now they get to face each other again to see who's going to win that chip in the end.
Here's the tail of the tape. For DG, their offense efficiency, that means all the times that their offense has stepped on the field and how many times they scored as they stepped on the field. DG's efficiency is third in the league at 44%. They were 16.2 points a game. They were third in scoring. So they were top two in efficiency. They were top three in efficiency and in scoring. Chuck's numbers. Chuck threw his quarterbacking numbers. Chuck had 21 touchdowns to 6 interceptions to 7 sacks. Chuck was top in touchdown passes, number 2. And amongst the starters with full-time starting all the games, he was second least interceptions passed. So his numbers were great this season, and that's their offense. On the defensive side of the ball, DG's defense efficiency was 32%, 6th in the league. So they was just outside of the top 5, giving up points on 62% of the time. And their defense was in 6th in points given up at 13%. I'm sorry, at 13 points per game, 6th in the league. Their defense overall in interceptions, they were 4th in interceptions at 10. Mm-hmm. They were 4th in sacks with 10, and they were 7th in interceptions at 9. So the defense played pretty good this season. Shout to them. And that's the tails of the tape on their side. UTF offensive efficiency was 6th at 35%. They scored 35.1%. Not a real high efficiency outside of the top 5. And their points per game, they were 7th in points per game. Offensively, they scored 14.8 points per game. That was their offense. Now, Jeremy's numbers at quarterback. Jeremy's numbers on offense. The guy threw 14 touchdown passes, but led the league, was tied in the league in interceptions with 12, and was sacked, and then also sacked 7 times. So didn't have great numbers as a quarterback. Definitely won games when he needed to win games, but didn't have the best numbers in the league for that. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, UTF's defense, their defensive efficiency was fifth, 30% of the time, 30.1%. They gave up points, fifth in the league. And their defensive points given up this season was seventh. They gave 13.1 points per game. They were seventh in the league. But this is where they made their money. They were fourth in sacks with 10. And they were fifth in interceptions at 5. So their defense made plays. So it's like more risk it, biscuit type. And that's basically what they did. That is your tail of the tape. Tell me what you think before we go over and start up the game.
The thing about UTF is throughout the season, yes, Jeremy was able to do what he needed to do to have this team win. But I would say that defense was the main engine that kept this team going, because on certain close games, it was always the defense that helped them win these games, these close games. And I think that that's going to be the case in this game. That defense has to play well in this game in order for them to win. Jeremy has to keep those interception throws a little low. If he throws too many interceptions in this game, I think that he has a chance to give away the game. So defense and Jeremy being careful has to be two things that they need to do in this game to win. In terms of DG, this team also has a defense that actually kept them in the games throughout the season. So their defense has to perform as well. They have a couple of playmakers. They have people that can put pressure on the quarterback. Julian's come up big in this playoffs, putting pressure on the quarterback. So they need him to be efficient in this game. And you need guys like Dash. You need guys like West, Cable, all of these guys to step up on offense and give Chuck the targets that he needs to drive the ball down the field in order to get them into the end zone. So all of these pieces need to work in this game to get DG into the championship win right here.
Definitely. We're gonna go into the game because we did the coin toss and y'all guys lost. The Eastern Conference will pretty much get the decision of the ball. They're going to give the ball first to DG, and we're gonna have to see what happens. We're gonna jump right into it. DG gets the ball first. Them getters. Chuck with blocking from Timmy. Throws to West in the gap for a decent game, picking up the first down. Then Chuck throws the Dash, cut in the gap, getting to the 12-yard line. Listen, Dash has been this team's MVP. This kid has definitely stepped up, made big plays throughout the whole playoff run, and you see Chuck going to him early in this game. Second down, Chuck is blitzed by Butho, who's blocked by Timmy. Chuck finds Cable open in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0 DG. If you look here, Charles picks him up late, and Chuck finds him. Listen, give props to Timmy. Timmy was a guy that was taken off of the A-list. Nobody really looked to pick him up. He went to DG, and the guy has been blocking great all season. Shout out to him, especially on this drive. 6-0, them getters.
And he is a big pickup for this them getters team, because that extra protection for Chuck is allowing him to make plays like this. Was Cable open right away in the beginning of the play? No, he was not. But he was given the opportunity to break away from the defense because of the extra time that Tim provided with the block there. That was the key to them getting to the end zone, and they get in there for the first score.
Jeremy gets the ball on 4 rush, runs in the gap for a nice gain in the first down. Remember, people said you can't let Jeremy beat you with his legs, and he does that right away. Great run there. Jeremy on 4 rush, throws a Frankie in the gap, who runs for a decent gain. Second down at the 10, Jeremy on 4 rush, rolls right, throws a Dev on the sideline, who falls into the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, Megatron was left guarding nobody, but DG challenges if Jeremy was tagged. Tell me about the play, what you saw.
And right here, the play that they're challenging is if Jeremy was tagged before the throw. Now, there's multiple things that you have to look at on this play here. You got to look at if he got the ball off before he was tagged and if the tag was made. You have to look at if Jeremy got the ball off before he was tagged and if the tag was made clearly. If you look here, you see that Jeremy does not get the ball off before the player gets there to make the tag. But the question was, did he make the tag? Did he get both hands on him? All the rest looked, including myself, we looked, and it's hard to see if he got a clear tag. We slowed it down the best we could to make sure that he got both hands on Jeremy, and we could not conclude that he did. If you look here, you can freeze frame it on certain parts of the play, and it may look like he does get the tag in time, but that's not what's in contention.
If you look here,
okay,
it looks like the left hand is on him. They thought it was a sack because the hand was on him. But if you look at the right hand, it's not clear if it was a tag. It looks like the right hand missed. Now, first of all, Julian had an opportunity to make the sack, and Jeremy makes a move. So if Julian gets a sack right away, plays over. But Jeremy makes a move to the road to his right. And again, the question was he tagged? And we saw the one hand on him, but the left hand, it's not clear.
It looks like it whips.
It looked like it whipped, which is why the official didn't make the call. Yeah. Because for him, it was too close to tell if the right hand got him.
And then if you look at the angles, the thing about it with this angle here, both of their shirts are dark, so you can't see if the hand clearly got him. It looks like the hand whips. Again, I'm gonna say if you freeze frame it, you may think that it got him, but there's no surefire way of telling if that other hand got him as Jeremy makes the tag. So that is why it was inconclusive. You cannot tell if the right hand clearly got him, and because of that, the play stands on the field.
So now then we're gonna go over the play now. Now that we was able to break that down, and guys put stuff up and was like, oh, how can you miss this? This was reviewed. It's always easy when you take a screenshot and put it up. And that's what I love about this game. But we'll get into more of that at the end. Yeah. But the biggest thing about this play, okay, yes, he threw the touchdown pass. Yes, was it a catch or tag or whatever? But the key to the play was, if you look here, Megatron is guarding no one. He is guarding no one. If he stays in his spot, that's a stop because Jeremy's just making a throw. But because Megatron leaves his lane, he gives Dev an opening to make the play. Now tell me about the play.
Yeah. First of all, as Dev cuts to the sideline, you see Dev of BG on the sideline as well. But he leaves to guard another receiver. I believe that's Charles that he guards as he crosses in the back of the end zone. So because the Dev locks up on a man on Charles, nobody fills in to guard Dev. Megatron is still looking around to see where he's going to go. By the time he reacts, it's too late, and Dev is already on the sideline catching the ball for the touchdown there. So because they don't switch in time, Dev is left open to get to the sideline to make that play. So the defense does not react, and Jeremy's able to make that play when it counted, and Dev gets into the end zone there.
And on the extra point, on forward rush, Jeremy throws a Dev in the front of the end zone. It's tipped by Dev of Getters, but still caught by Dev of UTF for the extra point. 7-6, they take a lead early. At the end of the day, listen, that's a great play by Dev, but definitely got to find a way to get that ball away and not let the other Dev able to make the catch, and he does, and they take the 1-point lead.
In my opinion, I believe that this play is even bigger than the touchdown play, because Dev was able to be there to get a hand on the ball. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to get clear enough to knock the ball down. The ball stays in the air, and Dev of UTF stays focused on the play and stays with the ball and is able to make that catch to get them the lead there. That is a huge play to stay aware and stick with the play, and he's able to get them the lead with that big catch. Dev playing good. Dev playing big on this one drive so far.
Chuck gets the ball back. He throws a dash, cutting on the sideline. Caught, but forced out of bounds by Randy, incomplete. Third down, Chuck is blitzed by Mamba, who's blocked by Timmy. Chuck throws a dash in the gap for a decent gain and a first down. Once again, Tim with great blocking. That guy needs a lot more props. The guy dominated that blocker, especially in this playoff run. Next play, Chuck with blocking from Timmy, rolls right, throws a cable in the middle, picked off by Kaka, giving the ball to UTF. Kaka jumps that route. Great play. Nobody was open. It looked like Chuck kind of messed up on his throw, and it's intercepted.
And Kaka, one thing you got to give him is, yes, he's not always the most efficient defender, guard locking up on receivers. But one thing you got to give him is he has the speed to get to almost any play on the field. And that's one of his main strengths. He's able to step up, read the play, and get to it and pick it off. He's not there. This probably would be a bigger play on the offense going the other way. So Kaka stepping up, making that big interception for his team, getting them back on the field. that is a huge defensive play, and Kaka's able to get those every now and then, and this was a big one right here.
UTF gets the ball back. Third down, third and long. Jeremy on 4 rush runs in the gap for a nice gain, getting him to the 45-yard line. Fourth down, Jeremy throws it Brown in the gap, drop, turnover on downs, giving it back to DG. So no harm, no foul. UTF was not even able to pick up a first down. That is a huge stop by this defense. Brown has to make this catch. We've seen him make the catch against the Monarchs earlier last week, but he doesn't come away with a catch here, and that's a huge turnover.
And yes, that definitely is huge, because if they get this first down, they may have the ability to drive down the field. So every single play counts. And this was a routine catch for the first down. These are not plays that you can afford to drop. So this is not a type of game that you want to make drops like this. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happens to Brown here.
Second down, Chuck on 4 rush scrambles and throws deep to Kasim. It's way off target, incomplete, but if you look here, nobody is short. Third down, Chuck rolls right, throws deep to Megatron in the front of the end zone, picked off by Charles, giving it back to UTF. If you look here, Cable's opening the gap. Chuck Force said, I guess he was trying to make a play. It's third down, but I still don't think you want to throw an interception to give them momentum. That's the thing about UTF. They love momentum, and if you feel like you can hit Mariano's cutter, then you're going to be comfortable and in a positive state the whole time. And I think that's what Chuck did. This is a bad interception, even though he's just trying to throw it downfield. One thing I don't want to give a momentum team is momentum. Great interception by Charles.
And yes, the thing about it is, like you just mentioned, one thing you don't do is get their defense and their team hyped with a big play like that. Even if you try to get close to the end zone and then punt, you do not give them the energy to keep going in this game. You trying the best to tone them down, to keep them calm or whatnot. Don't get them hyped. Don't get them, like you said, the momentum. And they do that here with that big play there, giving Charles an interception. Yes, they start at the 10-yard line, but that doesn't matter. Their offense is right back in the field after that big play on third down.
Jeremy with 2 passes in the gap for a decent game. Third down, Jeremy on 4 rush throws it Brown, open in the gap, off target, incomplete. UTF has to punt. Once again, you have this DG defense playing great, backing up this offense, coming away with the big stop. DG gets the ball. Second down after a short pass, Chuck throws to Kasim in the middle for a nice game, picking up a first down. Last play to half, Chuck throws it up, incomplete, taking us into the half. 6-7, UTF with the 1-point lead.
And yes, UTF isn't with the 1-point lead, but one thing I gotta say is both offenses are struggling right now. This DG team does not look good right now. After their first drive that looked easy, it looked like they were just running in the end zone without the defense even able to stop them. Then after that, it seems like they just turned off that switch. Chuck threw a big interception to Kaka. Guys are not necessarily getting big plays that they need to in this first half. You're keeping UTF in this game, and this is not the game that them getters want to play. A game that's back and forth with defenders making plays. The offense has to start strong in the second half if they want to have a shot of winning this game. You don't want to have this back and forth defensive game with UTF because they have opportunity to win these close games. You give them an opportunity, UTF will have a chance to take this game away.
If I'm UTF, I love this. This is their game. This is the type of style they've been playing all season. Jeremy was tied in the league for interceptions. So it's not about his numbers. It's not about how pretty they play. They play ugly, but they come away with big plays and stops when it's necessary. And that's what they're doing here. Listen, at the end of the day, the defense is pumped. Why? After one touchdown, they stopped DG 3 times. Yes, the last one was a throw-up, but I don't care. It's still a stop. But Chuck threw back-to-back interceptions. And like I always say, if you can hit the cutter, which is a baseball term,
yeah.
If you can show that you can, like you always say, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Once I have confidence that I can beat this team, especially I beat them in a regular season, that's all I need is momentum. And that's exactly what DG has given us. Momentum. That's what makes this UTF team more dangerous. You can't make them think that they're in the game. You got to put them away earlier. Monarchs did the mistake last week, taking a 2-touchdown lead and never keep taking the foot off the pedal and allowing UTF to get momentum. That's the worst thing you could do for this team, and I think DG did it already by giving the team momentum. We're going to jump into the second half. Third down, Jeremy on 4 rush, throws to Dev in the gap who runs for a nice gain and a first down. Great play by Jeremy, keeping little Dev involved in the passing game. Then Jeremy with 2 runs in the gap, getting them near the 10-yard line. 4th and goal, Jeremy throws the Charles in the front of the end zone, knocked away by Track, turnover on downs. That is another great stop by this DG defense, stopping Jeremy in the red zone. Great stop, giving the ball back to their offense. 3rd down after 2 short passes, Chuck throws the cable in the gap, high, incomplete. DG has to punt. Now you see DG has been stopped on their last 4 possessions. That is momentum for UTF. Like I said, they like playing this way, and they're able to make Chuck punt. UTF gets the ball back, and they're not able to do anything, and they're gonna have to punt the ball right back, giving it right back to them getters. 2nd down, Chuck throws the dash, cutting onto the sideline for a nice gain. You got to get Dash involved in the passing game. It's been your best weapon all playoffs, getting them there. 4th down, Chuck on 4 rush, throws the dash in the gap, caught, nice game, picking up the 1st down. Dash has become Chuck's go-to player more than anybody on this team. And Dash is showing the ability to make plays. This kid is young, but definitely showing the ability to play like a veteran and comes away with a big 1st down.
And this is much needed because they had no other options on this play right here. Dash is able to come up big. And the thing about it is, you said that Dash has to be one of their main weapons. That's exactly what happens here. He's able to keep the drive going. And as long as Dash is able to get these big plays on offense, Chuck is going to be in the game and have opportunities to get into the end zone. So right now, they're looking good as long as Dash is able to make plays like this.
Chuck with blocker from Timmy, throws a Hollywood in the gap for a decent game. Mamba's flag for a high tag, moving up an extra 5 yards. What do you think of the call?
And I think that this could have went either way. I don't know if this was merited as a high tag, but again, you're really trying to protect the players on plays like this, so you don't take any chances. So yes, this was an extra 5 yards that UTF didn't want to give up, but you can't let this rattle you. You're playing good defense throughout the game. This is a tough drive, but you got to keep it together. Don't let that slow you down. There's a couple of big plays coming up here.
And I believe UTF, DG got that flag in the beginning of the game.
Yes.
On the other side. So the refs want to be consistent. It looked like that. It was only the 5-yard penalty, similar to what DG got. It wasn't a personal because it wasn't intentional, and it was only 5 yards. Chuck with 2 passes to Cable in the gap for a nice gain, getting them to the 5-yard line. Track star Dash gets contact on that play and goes down. And you're gonna see Pam talking to him during the timeout. He'll stay in the game. Tell me what you think of the play.
I believe that on this one, he collided. He collided one of the players. It's hard for me to see if there's any illegal contact or anything like that going on this play here. But you do see Dash going down. And obviously, like you said earlier, that is their key player. They cannot afford to lose him on a point like this. So Pam's rallying him and telling him that he has to step up and make a big play. And he got to play through, whatever happened, not let that slow him down, giving him that pep talk that he needs. And hopefully it works because they need him for this drive right here. 4th
and goal. Chuck on 4 rush. Those who West cutting in front of the end zone. High and drop. Turnover on downs. They come away with the stop. 2 minutes left in the second half. West got to find a way to catch this ball. Chuck put it up a little bit. Yes, it was a little high, but you're the veteran. You're the father time. You have to find a way to come up with this catch. If it's 7-6 and he doesn't, and that's going to be a stop for UTF.
But one thing you got to give to UTF is the way that they were able to put pressure on Chuck to keep him moving. I don't care what quarterback you are. When you are moving and worried about the rush, you're not going to be as accurate. And it was just enough to take away a little bit of accuracy after that pass. Chuck threw it a little bit high. Yes, West is supposed to catch this pass here, but it wasn't an easy pass. It was really high if you look at this play here. And ultimately, you give defense some credit because they put just enough pressure to throw Chuck off that much, because this was definitely a touchdown if anything else happened on this play.
Remember, the score is 7-6 UTF, and UTF just comes away with the stop. They get the ball back. 3rd down after 2 runs to kill the clock. Jeremy throws a Dev in the middle, incomplete, stop the clock, UTF punt. So listen, first of all, you cannot play scared.
Yeah.
I think they played that drive scared. They didn't want to make a mistake. This defense been stopping them all day. So what you do is You played scared and you give the ball back to but one of the best quarterbacks of not even UFL history of all time. After they just made their own mistake to take a lead. So you stop them and allow them to get the ball. Your offense gets the ball back and you don't move the ball and you have to give the ball right back and give them a second opportunity. Those are mistakes you can't make, and they do, and they give Chuck back the ball with the DG offense. Chuck gets the ball. He throws the cable for a decent game, picking up the first down, stopping the clock. Then Chuck throws deep to Kaz, one-on-one on Kaka in the middle of the end zone. Kaz gets a hand on it, but it's just knocked away by Kaka, incomplete pass. That was a touchdown. Yes. If Kaka does not get his hands up and knock that ball away, that is 6 points. We've seen Chuck take that shot downfield, and it hurt the Sharks. It ended that game versus the Sharks. He tries again here, and Kaka with the big play to knock that ball down.
And this is him making yet another big play. One in the first half with that pickoff that kind of slowed down DG's momentum. And then this play right here that keeps them from taking the lead. Because again, Kazim was in the end zone. He had his hands all over the ball, but Kaka just gets his hand in to knock the ball out. He doesn't do that. That is a touchdown, and we'll be having a conversation with DG coming away with this win. But fortunately for Kaka, he's there to make the big play for the stop there.
Chuck throws a Megatron on the sideline. Megatron makes a catch, keeps his feet in bounds, and falls out. Clock stops. It was under 2 minutes, so they look at it.
Yes, we look at most plays right here as it goes under 2 minutes. Any close plays, we get to look at it. So we did, and if you look at this play with Megatron, Megatron makes the catch and just keeps his feet in bounds. Clearly keeps his feet in bounds as he falls out of bounds. That is a great catch and a great way to stay on the sideline and stay in feet in bounds and then get out. This is the perfect play that you need on a drive like this. You're able to stop the clock, get some big yardage, and you make the catch as well. So this is a big catch. If he doesn't make this catch, we'll be talking about a completely different drive, but he does the drive going.
Second down, Chuck throws a Kasim in the middle, getting him to the 2-yard line, 3 seconds left. It comes down to this play. As them getters call the timeout. Now this is what everything is about. The draft, getting Chuck, UCF with Jeremy, getting rid of Ramsey, drafting Corey, getting Jeremy. It all comes down to this last play with 3 seconds. Last play of the game. Chuck is with blocker from Timmy and Hollywood. Throws the dash, open in the front of the end zone. It's dropped. Ending the game, UTF is the UFL champs, 7-6, beating them getters.
I mean, no words could speak on the end of this play, the end of this game right here. This DG team had 2 opportunities, and this one I would say is clearer than the last one. Dash was wide open in the front of the end zone. The pass was high and a little bit behind him, but you come into this game and you wear your big boy pants for a reason. You're supposed to come in and make this play. That's the main reason why you're in here for. It's unfortunate that Dash did not hold on to this ball here. I think that he was worried about the hit coming from Mamba, but you're supposed to play through that. You can't even worry about what's coming afterwards, because once you hold on to that ball, the game is over. You take whatever pain you get after that play. It doesn't matter, but he does not hold on to the ball. That is unfortunate, because this was a championship play that you are in this game for, and he can't hold on to it. That caused UTF to win the game. That is there's no words for me to speak on what they're going through right now with the way the outcome was just now.
We're gonna go to an interview with we'll go to all the interviews, and we'll go to the championship ceremony, and then we'll break down what we saw in this game. We're gonna talk to Chuck of DG. We're gonna talk to Buto. We're gonna talk to Jeremy. We'll talk to all those guys. We'll see the championship, all that stuff, and then we'll come back. As you can see, they're getting the check. They got the champagne. Shout to UTF. Gaka was named championship MVP. Definitely, you heard him talking while you saw Jeremy talking. Shout to them. Shout to Chuck for the interview. Appreciate that. Gaka deserved it. Stopped a big touchdown catch and had a big interception. You got to say that this UTF team played awesome to win this game. They played their style. They made DG play their style. Now, before I finish with UTF, I'm going to talk about DG because I went through the numbers. I went back through all the numbers. I looked at all the stats and all that stuff. Now, Chuck won league MVP. And he won league MVP earlier, but I told you why, the cast that he had. Then I went and I looked at some of the numbers and I got to see a little bit. You know, from the beginning of the game, from the beginning of the playoff run, this team basically had to play one game extra because they played in the first round as UTF got a bye. First game versus the Sharks, Chuck threw 3 touchdowns in the second half. But that game, West caught a touchdown, Dash scored 2 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. Chuck scored 3 times in the second half, but in the first half, he went 0 for 3 with a pick 6 he threw. Never scared game. Dash catches a touchdown and West gets a 2-point conversion. Chuck throws an interception looking for Dash in that game. In that game versus Never Scared, if I'm looking at the numbers, they went 0 for 3 in the first half, punted twice. And in the second half, they went 1 for 3. Now, Chuck, like I said, found Dash on a touchdown pass, and West got the 2-point conversion. But he threw an interception. He threw an interception looking for Dash, which caused him an interception. So you already got 2 games where the offense does not look great. He goes to Dash, Dash drops the ball, it's picked off, but he was going to Dash. The next drive, he finds West for a touchdown. Dev catches the extra point. That was the first time they scored with another guy other than Dash or West. Then he throws to Michael, which is West's son. But on the play before that, he threw a bomb here to Dash, who made a big play. On the touchdown pass that he threw to Michael, Shy had 2 guys, which was who? Michael and West. So he goes to West and leaves Michael open. So that was another time that West was involved in a touchdown. After that, he throws an interception. And you got this game where you saw a touchdown to Cable in the beginning of the game. Then he throws 2 interceptions, looking for Cable and looking for Megatron. But again, you see the 2 interceptions. Then in the second half, he punted, had a drop touchdown by West and a drop touchdown by Dash. So my thing is, this team has went to Dash and West the whole playoff run. So obviously, in crucial time, you go to both of these guys who are not able to make the plays you need them to win the game. Dash is a guy who got a lot of props, played great during the season, played great in the playoffs, but nobody's going to remember that because when it's money time, he dropped the catch, crucial catch that you got to make. West, Father Time, but not the most athletic guy. And it's play where he had to go upstairs and go get the ball. He did it. But my issue is, and you know what I always say when I coach goes, I'm not going to allow something in a win that I don't in loss. This offense, right? Let me give you these numbers. This offense in this playoff run, in the regular season, this offense was at 44% efficiency. That was 3rd.
Yeah.
You know how they did in this playoff run? They were 33.3%. That would have been 8th in the regular season. So you said the efficiency dropped. Then their points per game, they were 3rd in scoring. 16.2. In the playoffs, they dropped to 11.7, which would have been ninth. They scored. It's like the offense completely shut down because, again, you couldn't keep that momentum going. The best game they had was against the Sharks, which had the worst defense, one of the worst defenses in the league, which Chuck took the second half to score. Against Neberskin, who was the worst defense in the league, he didn't play great. His defense helped them having 2 pick sixes. So my thing is, you saw the offense struggle, and nobody really thought about it. That's why you see this game, they only scored 6 points. Because the offense has been struggling the whole playoff run, but nobody really talked about that. This offense did not have firepower all year, and Chuck carried them. Well, in the playoffs, when you need your players to carry you, the 2 guys you went to the whole playoffs. And those are the 2 guys that couldn't come away with a big play to win the game. Chuck threw 6 interceptions in these 4 playoff games. The 3 and the playoff game he played, the championship game. He threw 6 interceptions the whole season.
Yeah.
In 9 games, he threw 6 picks. Well, in the playoffs, he threw 6, which tied him for what he threw in the regular season. That's not a good thing. This offense struggled the whole playoff run, but their defense is what held them, and nobody was really talking about that. Efficiency, this defense was 32% in the regular season, which was 6th overall. You follow me, Ghost?
Yeah, I'm here.
In the playoffs, they dropped that to 22.2%, which would have been 3rd in the regular season. Their efficiency. Their points per game, they gave up 13, which was 6. In the playoffs, they gave up 10.7, which would have been 4th. So at the end of the day, this team been playing like this the whole playoff run. But they didn't realize it until the chip game. People gonna say, oh, they just started struggling. No, they didn't. They struggled the whole playoffs.
Listen.
But the defense bailed them out. This game, again, the defense bailed them out. How did they bail them out? They stopped UTF from getting the first down as UTF dropped the ball to get the first down. Then they stopped UTF in the red zone and they forced UTF to punt 3 times. But what happens? After the first drive that they scored, you had interception by Chuck on first down. He threw a pick to Kaka. Then you have another interception he threw. Then they get stopped. Then they punt. Then they drop a touchdown and they drop a touchdown. So everybody want to say, oh, that first drive in the beginning when Jeremy scored cost us the game. We showed you the replay. Couldn't call it. It looked like the right hand whiff. But the same thing your offense has been doing all playoffs, they did in the chip game. So they should have been more focused. Yes, Chuck threw 21 touchdowns during the regular season. But when you throw as many interceptions in 4 games in the playoffs, which you did in 9 in the regular season, something is wrong. And they didn't capitalize on what their defense gave them. They struggled going with these players all regular season. They thought Chuck was going to be able to do it. And when your offense drops from 44% to 33% in the UFL, that's a word. That's the kid's a thought for concern.
Listen, all of that is true. All of that is surprising numbers for DG that tells a different tale of how they played in the playoffs. They weren't as successful as a lot of teams would believe. But the craziest thing that I noticed in the last 2 games that UTF played, in this championship game and in the Final Four, both games UTF came away with the win because the opposite team could not score that touchdown in a catch in the end zone. So both times, the teams that faced them could not finish the game. Both times, you had passes in the receiver's hands. They could not come away with the catch, and UTF ends up winning the game. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from UTF. They deserve this win. They earned this win. But when the opposite team had an opportunity to win the game, they dropped passes. Both teams. And because of that, the team that they face is the one hoisting up that trophy.
Listen, at the end of the day, they didn't focus on what they play UTF style of game. UTF didn't play great in the regular season, in the playoff run. They were 3 of 20.
Yeah.
They didn't play great.
You don't play an ugly game with this team at all.
Exactly. Their defense went 4 of 18. So again, this is a team that up there that made a lot of interceptions, a team that brought a lot of sacks. You know what I mean? So you play an ugly game the way that they wanted to play it. Monarchs did the same thing, took a 2-touchdown lead and took the pedal off the metal. Braulio couldn't score because both of their quarterbacks had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So you played the game that UTF wants you to play. They didn't care that Jeremy led the league in interceptions was tied. He had a few walk-off wins. He had the team 5-0 because they made plays when they needed to.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. So something that listen, we got to jump on it. Our defense been playing great. The defense, like I said, was at 22.2%. That was up there with Blackout, the Raiders, Grind Time, if this was the regular season.
Yeah.
So your DG defense was even better in the playoffs than it was in the regular season. But you're lacking on offense carried every single week. And y'all never adjusted to it. Y'all always figured, listen, we're going to be okay. And it came back to burn them in the championship game when you have the ball on 7 possessions and score once and only on your first possession. They played the game UTF wanted to play, and that's why UTF is champions. I know at the end of the day, UTF shouts to them for playing this DG game the way they wanted to. They beat them in a regular season. Chuck threw 2 interceptions and 2 touchdown passes. This one, he threw 1 touchdown pass and threw 2 interceptions, and this offense had gone 1 for 7. We're going to wrap this one up as we wrap up the show. We was able to just a shout out to City Island. Bruno, we hope we did you well. We was able to honor him, his picture there on the All-Star shirts. Listen, great 10 years run, Ghost. It was an honor working with you. We had a lot of ups and downs in the season, and it was great, man. And a lot of people say you can't end this because of what people say. That's not really the main reason. We need a break. Guys need to get more mature in this game, but we all need to grow. Us as a league, me as a ref, Ghost as an assistant commissioner. We all got to get better. We thought it was time to go while we're still on top and take that break. And who knows in the future? But obviously, there's no way. There's a 99.9% chance that we will not be back at least next season, maybe a year from now. 2 years, we don't know. But as far as next season, it's pretty much 99.9%. Shout to Tim. Great opportunity he gave us. And we hope we've done him, the players, the teams all proud.
Yes, obviously, shout out to Tim, because without him, we wouldn't even have the opportunity to get as far as we did in this league and do all the things that we're able to do. I feel like there was so much that we added to the game, and it was a privilege to do so. Certain things that became, commonplace in TFL now, it started with certain rinky-dink ideas that we thought up, and it was a pleasure to do that way from the beginning. I never saw us going this far from when we first picked up the game in the league in Brooklyn. And the funny thing is, that year I actually was playing for one of the teams out there. So I never pictured being a co-commissioner of the league and getting as far. So it was a pleasure to do so. Now, again, it's not even about, we got pushed out because of the players and none of that. No, that's not how I feel at all. That eventually, as time goes by, and I've said this in analogy before, it's like a TV series. It could be one of the best series of all time. Even the Cosby Show had to end eventually, because after a while, there's but so many stories you can tell, so you want to end it in a good note, because eventually, as you keep going and you're not being as efficient as you were in the past, it starts to decline, and we don't want to do that. We want to end while we're on top, we're on the best of our game, and I believe that we were able to do that with some of the ideas we did this season, and it was a lot of fun. Maybe we'll pick up a few years from now. Who knows? What time will tell. But as long as we enjoyed ourselves and long we was able to help guys take their mind off of their issues or whatever. That was the main point. And also to, bring a little bit of the word of God to their, to people as well, and that's why I said I want to just quick on our original logo says a lot about what we believe the league stood for. The original logo for the UFL is the lion over the football. The lion
Right.
represents Christ with the crown, meaning he is above football.
Right.
And that was the main point of our league, to fellowship, to bring guys together, and to enjoy the day. That's exactly what we did, and I think that we did a good job doing it. Mm-hmm.
So listen, shout to Tim for allowing us to represent the UFL league. Great league, awesome league. And we're going to show love. Hopefully we'll start getting some videos to reminisce about things that we've been through in the league. But shout to my family. Shout to Dawn being a part of the show. Shout to all the guests we had, all the teams we had, everybody. Shout, man. Shout to you for doing a great job. You definitely took this league to the next level. We want to thank everybody. So we're sorry if it ran on a little bit. We just wanted to give appreciation and thanks to everybody. We wanted to detail what we thought, and we wanted to give you all that, man. So on behalf of the UFL League, this is Real Tough Talk. I'm Stephen J, my partner Ghost, and we want to thank you guys for the great run y'all have given us for these 10 years. We hope we did y'all pleasure. We hope y'all had a great time, and we thank y'all, and we wish all the players good luck in the future, and we wish all the leagues, EHS, BQFL, Friday Night Lights, LES, City Island, Tony G, Expo, all the leagues that's around Casino, much love in the future. And we're going to see y'all guys, man. Much love, man. We talk to y'all soon. Stay blessed. We out of here.